Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So yesterday, Saturday the 13th of September, my laptop did absolutely everything in its power to not do what I needed it to do. So today I am actually filming on Sunday the 14th of September, fresh out of the shower, so I do apologise. Still feeling really icky, but I'm powering forward because you guys need your content and I need to share what I've been up to because today is this week's Crafty Catch Up. Now, I did tell you on Wednesday that there isn't an awful lot to show you. That is because I was dealing with Max and his head injury. Thankfully, he is much better now. Most of the bruising and the swelling has gone. He is being able to up his activities and is getting more to his normal, thank goodness. However, I have been sick the week previous to recording this. Hopefully by the time you're watching I am fully recovered, fingers crossed. I think my gorgeous 3-year-old nephew passed on a yucky virus and it hit Assisa, as he calls me, really hard. So just bear with me 1 second and I will be right back. Apologies, hold. Okay, I'm back, sorry about that. Would you believe my day is just chaos? I literally finally get a chance to sit down and film the rest of this week's content and then I get a text asking me to do something. So I've done it and now hopefully I won't be interrupted again. So apologies. So yes, the virus has knocked me off my feet. I still went into work as normal, which was probably not a good move, but because of Max's head injury the week before, I didn't want to cause any awkwardness or doubts on my willingness to power through or take the mickey in having too many days off site, etc., seeing as we've just got back from the summer holidays. That's all in my head. I'm sure they would have been fine about it, but it's me. I'm like, no, I've messed them around quite a bit in the last week or so. I'm not going to stay at home and mess them around even more. So I powered through and I still went into work, but it was rough. Hopefully this week that you are watching this, it has been a bit easier on me. But the day you're watching this, I'll be working from home and all will be good. So what did I get done? Well, not a lot. I did not pick up the top again. I was finding that I was really struggling to see where to do the seams with the black yarn of an evening because I was feeling so gross. So I thought, no, I just need to work on that when I've got daylight, which I didn't manage to get because I'd been working all week. Hadn't touched any of my other whips other than what I'm going to show you today. So as you know, my spinny selection was to work through my Temu kits, and if you saw my small Temu craft haul on Wednesday, you will know that I have added another kit to that. But I just continued working on the 2 that I said I would. Now, Auntie Lala did say, I'm surprised you didn't work on the flamingo first. Well, that is because it didn't come with its own little booklet for me to sit and work from. I had to, you know, scan the QR code and maybe print the pattern off or, you know, yeah. So I thought, right, well, Auntie Lala said I should have done the flamingo. So this week I did get the flamingo done. That is the picture on the front of the card. Mine looks completely different to that because the instructions were a little sparse, shall we say. And if I didn't have previous amigurumi experience, I would not have been able to do this as a beginner. I do not feel that these patterns are particularly beginner friendly, but if you have got experience in amigurumi, you can fudge your way through and you can do your own thing to make it look kind of sort of like it's supposed to. Now again, bear in mind guys that I have been feeling a little poorly, so some of my bits and bobbles on this flamingo leave a lot to be desired. They are a bit wonky, and actually I didn't realise it until I had gone too far that I had attached the beak with the head upside down. But if I had attached it the other way around, his eyes would have been too low in his head, in my opinion. So it was a happy mistake because I think it looks better the way that I did it. The wings have been sewn on a little too far back. But again, he might just be really proud and really demure and elegant, and it's a flamingo, guys. It looks like a flamingo. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It just isn't 100% representative of the picture, because even the colours used in the pictures are not the same as is in the instruction. There was never any instructions for the little crown, so it doesn't have a crown. It looks completely different, but it's okay. It will do. I have a little flamingo made, and it's another creature from the kit done and dusted. So here it is. Here is my little flamingo. Now it is hard to see the edge of the wings because it told me to edge them in black, whereas if you see on here, there is no black. This one's legs are grey. It didn't tell me to do that in the pattern. The eyes are completely different. But again, guys, I just used past amigurumi knowledge and past skills to enable me to get a completed flamingo in the bag. So let me know what you think. Do you prefer mine to the pictured one? Do you agree that the wings are slightly too far back? Do you agree that the legs are wonky? Can you tell that the beak was put on with the head upside down? I don't know. But I do have a little flamingo finished. And that is another of the amigurumis done. So between the two Temu kits, I had 7 amigurumis to make. I have now done 4 of them, so there's still 3 to go. And then I've added the amigurumi Halloween kit that I picked up from Temu also. So still a bit more work to be done with the Temu kits. Now, if they are a gift, it's a lovely gift, but you need to ensure that you are gifting them to somebody that has a bit of amigurumi experience. Like I said, I don't feel they are beginner friendly. The yarn is soft but extremely splitty. The end result is really variable. So I don't think I'm going to be in a rush to buy many more kits from Temu, and that's okay. You get what you pay for. Temu are renowned for being super inexpensive, and you get what you pay for, essentially. I think once I have completed these kits, I am going to be one of those crafters that just find patterns and use my own yarn stash to make said patterns. And as you know, I have a huge amigurumi library pattern book stash on hand as well. So I think this is teaching me that just because it looks cute doesn't mean it ends up cute, and just because I love crochet, the crochet kits aren't necessarily the way forward. So there we go, a little bit of progress on the Spinny Selection kits. Now, the next thing I did, so I have gone on a little bit of a side quest, guys. Because I was feeling so rotten and poorly, I didn't have the bandwidth in my brain to do anything too complex, like I've mentioned. I was really struggling to see the black stitches to make the seams in the top. I didn't want anything that I had to really super intensely concentrate on. You know, for a while now that I have been absolutely obsessed with the Little Pumpkins by Brianna K Designs. Here we go. It's this one here, the Pumpkin Spice Crochet Trio. I will link this in the description box. It is a paid for pattern, but worth every penny. I have enjoyed making the little one. A couple of weeks ago, I pulled off some yarn from my yarn stash, which was Temu yarn, and I said that I was going to turn both of those cakes into pumpkins. And I have made good on one of the cakes. One of the cakes has been completed. I have already shown you one of the pumpkins in last week's crochet catch up. So I will let you know exactly how many I managed to get out of one cake. I think that is everything. So it is the Fairyland yarn from Temu. Long distance cake ball, 100 grams, blended air yarn, 245 meters, and it's just a color number 1171. And I also had another Fairyland yarn cake in slightly different colors. So I already had one pumpkin from last week. I carried on with the pumpkins and I managed to get another 3 out of that one cake. So here is one of them. They're a little bit smushed because they've been in my project bag, but I just love the pastel rainbow colours. Who says you can't have pumpkins in different colorways, guys? Not me. So there's one of them. Here's another one. This one is gorgeous. It is mainly the pinkies, the peachies, the purplies, a little bit of blue. There we go. So there is the second one, and then the third one where we have a little more variation in the colours. They all turn out slightly different sizes depending on how hard I pull the yarn when I go from the centre to the bottom to squish them down. That's okay. You never go to a pumpkin patch and find 2 pumpkins exactly the same. So there is the 3 more from that first initial Fairyland cake. And I'm thinking, right, so now I've got 4 little pumpkins. What am I going to do with these 4 little pumpkins? So my brain has created a side quest. Now, I am really struggling with charity donations, okay? Little side note, I have made 10 pairs of crochet hearts for NHAP this past week as well. I won't be showing you them until my charity donation video at the end of the month. But I really do think that the charity hearts is going to be the only charity donation featured project this month, because I haven't found anything else that I have wanted to jump on board with at the moment. So then I'm like, what am I going to do with all of these pumpkins? So then I thought of what I think is a really lovely idea. What I am going to do is I am going to list every single staff member that works at the school, and I am at some point, probably in October, around about the Halloweeny times, guys, I am going to set up a table where we normally all meet for our morning meetings and stuff before the school day starts, and I'm going to set up a table, but on top of that table I am going to have my very own pumpkin patch. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and print out little cards that I may or may not laminate, it depends, and I'm going to stick the cards to the front of the pumpkins that says, if work colleagues were pumpkins, I'd pick you. And then I would invite them all to choose a pumpkin as a little autumnal, seasonal, crocheted gift from me. And I just thought it was a really sweet idea. This is why I'm loving the fact that I'm going outside of the generic pumpkin colours a little bit, because it makes it a little bit more, ooh, there's variety. Ooh, what colours suit my personality? What pumpkin do I really love? I'm going to pick that one. So I am going to make, and I need to make 40. Good one, Manfa. I'm going to make them in all sorts of different colours. I am going to use some traditional orange yarn for some more traditional looking pumpkins, and then just go from there. So I am going to work from this secondary Fairyland cake, which you can see I already have. And I only managed to get 1 out of that secondary cake, and here it is. So these are more of the, now, you know, I believe that colour doesn't have a gender, but for me, this may be more masculine friendly. So the guys don't have to go away with a pinky purpley if they don't want to, but if they want to, that is absolutely okay. No judgment on what pumpkin you select from me. at all. Have whichever one floats your boat and takes your fancy, okay? So I'm going to work through the rest of this second Fairyland cake. I am then going to pull down some similar yarn. It is the Yarnsmith's Pebble Haze DK in the oranges that I put in the fairy dust blanket. And I am going to use that whole secondary orange cake that I never got to in that blanket and make some more traditional orangey toned pumpkins. After that, I haven't thought about it. I don't know what other yarns I'm going to use, but I am going to strive to get a pumpkin for each and every one of my work colleagues as just a little I care about you token gift. Because I absolutely love making the pattern. If not all of them want one and don't pick one and I end up with pumpkins left over, I'm going to take the little cards off and then I might just go on a little walk and leave them out as random acts of crochet kindness. But hopefully my colleagues do want them and do take them home. But again, I'm not going to be offended. I will put them to good use in my wider community. So kind of sort of charity donation, but not really. But I love making them. It gives me a purpose for making so many. And it uses up stash, and hopefully I bring smiles and joy to people around me, which is all you can really ask for, right? So far I have 5 of the little pumpkins so far, 35 to go. So you are going to be seeing a lot of pumpkins over the next few weeks while I endeavour to complete this little side quest that I have that I have created for myself. I may rue the day that I thought about this, and I might be totally sick of the sight of pumpkins by the end of it. But right now I'm excited and I'm looking forward to doing it. Opinions subject to change. So there we go. That is literally it. 4 more little pumpkins and a flamingo and 10 pairs of hearts that you're not going to see until probably next week. Because we're already getting close to the end of September. Can you even? Like, where is this year going? Oh, but yeah, I am really, really, really sticking to I'm just going to make what brings me joy. I am just going to do the things that I love. The things that bring me, the least stress and pressure. And if that means whips that I've currently got going on or segments I've currently got going on the channel fall to the wayside, that's just where my headspace is at. And I'm going to give myself the love and grace to do that should I wish to. Crafting should be a joy and a pleasure, not a chore. And the other things will get made eventually. Of course they will. I'm not going to give up on them. So yeah, that is where we're at. Manfa's in pumpkin fever season and I'm loving it. So there we go. Let's see how quickly and how many we can get done over the next few weeks. Anyway, I hope this week has been a gorgeous one for you all. I hope that I am feeling better, and I hope the weekend to come is full of love, laughter, and all the things that make you smile. There has been a lot of tragedy, a lot of upset in the wider world, and I just think here in this little corner of our beautiful community that we all create for each other, we should just spread light, positivity, kindness, and love, and that is exactly what I'm doing. So head into the weekend with all of those beautiful things in your hearts, and I will see you next week for my regularly scheduled content. Like I said, enjoy your weekend. I have no idea what I'm going to be up to, but I hope I have a good one as well. I always appreciate your time, your love and support, and I will see you very, very soon. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one or around the YouTube streets. Bye guys, love you loads.